Well, we settle in for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship as Marco Antonio Barrera defends his title against Pastor Maurin. And Pastor Maurin getting his first world title shot, his United States debut. Former South American Junior Featherweight champ and Argentine Bantamweight champion. Fighting more recently at featherweight, has fought exclusively in Argentina. His lone defeat, August of '97, 7 fights ago, lost by decision to Jose Rojas. He had won his first 36 fights, 6-0 since. His only loss with only 1 knockout. No real recognizable names on his ring record. Ferdy, what's your take on Pastor Maurin? What kind of challenge does he pose to Barrera?
Very tough. I think it's 42-1 in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. Now, you're not talking about a country that doesn't have boxing. They have boxing every Saturday night, and they're like Mexico. They get in there and they got to fight or die. And so I'm looking at a guy that's 42-1. And that scares me to death if I'm the other guy. I think we got a heck of a barn burner going here. Of course, we got a guy, as we have seen, Barrera can take a punch, he can get on the canvas, and he gets up mad.
Yeah, the second defense of his second reign as WBO Junior Featherweight champ. The champion right there originally won the belt in '95, beating Daniel Jimenez after 8 successful defenses, including a 12th-round TKO of Kennedy McKinney, one of 1996's best fights. He lost back-to-back to Junior Jones, but in controversial fashion. And following an 8-month layoff for an injured hand, 3 straight knockouts before regaining the title with a 3rd-round TKO over Richie Wenton. Comes off a 2nd-round TKO of Paul Lloyd to retain his crown in April. Bobby, they call him the baby-faced assassin. Everything to him is a war. He really wants WBC champ Erik Morales. Could he be looking past Maurin?
You know, he might be looking past Maurin, but, you know, he's the traditional Mexican warrior with all the machismo added in. He likes to get to work fast, and often he wants his pound of flesh, and he wants it all the time. So the stereotype of well-conditioned, tough, durable, good punching Hispanic fighter, he fits the bill.
All right, Bobby, tail of the tape. Hard to believe Barrera only 25. Seems like he's been around a long, long time. 5 years younger than Maurin. 4-inch height advantage for Barrera. Both right at the weight limit and just a 1-inch reach advantage, Barrera. We go to the key unified rules for this championship fight. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of round 4, it's a technical draw. After the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards. So here at the Mark G. Edis Arena, getting ready for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship. Marco Antonio Barrera and Pastor Maurin. We go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we present a World Championship attraction here at the Trump Taj Mahal, and once again it's all brought to you by Frank Warren Sports Network in association with Dillon Productions, Showtime Event Television, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, and the undefeated, undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor the former light heavyweight world champion Jose Torres, along with the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Commissioner Larry Hazard, Senior Chairman Jerry Gormley. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Harry Davis. From Newark, New Jersey, Ron Porteridge. And from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Roberto Ramirez. And our referee in charge of this bout, the 3rd man in the ring, is Benji Esteves Jr. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger. On my left, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing maroon trunks with black trim, joining us all the way from Salta, Argentina. He weighed in at the junior featherweight limit of 122 pounds with an outstanding record of 42 wins, only 1 defeat. He has 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the WBO number 4 ranked junior featherweight contender, tonight's challenger, known as Vaca Mala, introducing Pastor Maurin. And And his opponent across the ring on my right is the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with blue lettering, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 122 pounds even. His record stands at 48 wins, 2 losses, with 36 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2-time and current WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the world, known as the Baby-Faced Assassin, introducing Marco Antonio Barrera. Once again, a referee in charge, Benji Esteves Jr., now to give instructions.
Marcos, Pastor, vamos a cubrir otra vez las instrucciones. Obedezcan las reglas mías durante el combate, protéjense en todo tiempo. Les deseo suerte, buena pelea limpia. Tengo el cinturón aquí, está alto, aquí está la línea, aquí abajo, no aquí. Ok, buena suerte a los dos.
Bobby Ches, how about your keys to victory, beginning with the champion, Barrera?
Johnny, baby,
Well, Barrera has to box smart and throw accurate combinations against a very awkward Maurin. And on the other side, Maurin, he has to make Barrera miss, get on the inside and work really, really hard.
As Jim Gray pointed out, originally Barrera was scheduled to fight undefeated Angel Vasquez, but the Barrera camp felt that Vasquez was too tough an opponent, so exit Vasquez, enter Maurin. Wouldn't it be ironic if Maurin provides Barrera with a difficult fight or even pulls off the upset? Barrera in the white trunks, Maurin in the maroon.
Well, after talking to Maurin's camp, you would think that they have one of the best hidden secrets in boxing in this kid.
Right. Boy, they did talk him up pretty good. Well, he is tough. He's a hard puncher, good right hand. He's kind of unorthodox, lots of waist and leg movement, a good chin and heart.
There you see him already switching, so he is going to be awkward.
Awkward is what they said. He said that you can't hardly define him the way he does. He moves very well on both sides, bends his waist very well. See that? I mean, that was an awkward thing right there.
Well, Barrera's people say he's trained for 12 hard rounds. Barrera said he's going to go in looking for the knockout. He'll do everything possible to score a knockout, he said.
Well, you know Barrera goes for knockouts. He is 36 years old, and 36 knockouts, and Babyface Assassin is an apt title for him.
Barrera's trainer said he was very worried about Maurin's head because he comes in from such awkward angles, and not only that, but he doesn't make the traditional counter punches. He needs Barrera to be smart about it.
Barrera, a strong puncher, particularly the left hook, always in good condition, always applies steady pressure. If he does have a weakness, is that oftentimes he goes in one direction, perhaps too much. He only knows how to go forward, and his defense is questionable at times.
Well, this guy is awkward, Bobby. I mean, he's coming from all angles. He looks like he's in a street fight.
And you may have noticed it doesn't say Barrera on the back of his trunks. It says Tapia. Either he got the wrong trunks or he's a big Johnny Tapia fan.
He has Barrera on the front of his trunks, but on the back he has Tapia.
Maybe he means Tapia's behind him now. He's going forward to other opponents.
Johnny Tapia recently upset by Paulie Ayala, but he'll be back, you know that.
The low blow, a left hook south of the border by Barrera.
Both guys warned to keep him up. You know, Barrera this round is just trying to put some order to this guy, just saying, hey, wait a minute, settle down, fight straight. But this guy's coming from all angles.
Barrera's trainer, Rudy Perez, who knows all about Maurin, told us Barrera has to box intelligently and use lateral movement. Well, he's got Maurin in trouble right here in round 1. 32 seconds to go.
Part of that in trouble was a nice right hand on top of the head while Maurin was doing that awkward thing he does. His legs are constantly switching, constantly off balance, yet still effective with his punches.
Yeah, he got hit while he was off balance. That wasn't so much a devastating punch as it was an off balance punch, but he felt it.
Barrera is much more effective for a little sequence there, using a double and triple jab to just get to, close the gap and get to work on Maurin, but Maurin is very awkward to jab.
How brave he is. Awkward, he definitely is.
Maurin's left hand came awfully close to touching the canvas.
Respira, Paco. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Se descuidó?
So what happened? You catch off balance?
Escucha, Pacorino. No te quedes quieto.
Don't stand still.
Camina. Y no te desesperes, tranquilito, la manito.
We're going to take a look at that almost knockdown combination slip punch. Maurin's just so awkward with his feet here. He's always leaning. He gets hit. There's his foot just kind of slips out from under him as he gets hit while he's twisting and turning, constantly going from southpaw to righty, righty to southpaw. I don't think that was as much a clean punch, making the effects on his twist. But there you see, he just spins out, and his left foot comes out from under him.
It almost was a punch in the shoulder and the arm as he was spinning out. I mean, it was really an awkward thing. It wasn't a punch to the head that got him in trouble, not at all.
Well, maybe Maurin's camp was trying to surprise us, too. When we talked to them yesterday, they said he was a righty, Maurin. He fought most of round one as a southpaw.
Could you define that? I mean, I didn't know what he was fighting. He was one way, he was switching, he was going back, he was going forward. Wow, was he awkward.
Well, he came out as an orthodox fighter for about 10 seconds, and he's already back to southpaw.
Yeah, he's fighting as a lefty now.
Back to righty. Very unusual style.
Trying to confuse Barrera, obviously, but Barrera continues to dictate the pace.
He can fire from either side. That doesn't seem to bother him whether he right jabs or left.
Oh, big right hand that caught Barrera right on the face.
That's what Barrera's trainer was talking about.
Got hit
that was a late hit.
Hit on the break.
That's what Barrera's trainer was talking about. He jumps and leaps, he said, from such odd angles. He has to be smart and box smart.
Boy, this is one of the most unorthodox, awkward fighters we've seen in a long time. Pass to Maurin in maroon. Maurin in maroon. Receiving word here that the reason it says Tapia on the back, well, he might be a Johnny Tapia fan, but it's his mother's family name.
Oh, really?
There you go.
There you go. The things you don't find out when you listen to Showtime.
In an effort to further you with information, the things we do find out, I hope.
That was being colloquial.
Halfway through round two. Somebody get me a dictionary.
You can see that Barrera's still having a little trouble figuring out the constant switching and awkward style of Maurin. I don't think Maurin even knows which way he's going till he goes.
Yeah, he just in mid-flight seems to occur to him which punch he's going to throw. Right now, this is a little bit dull compared to the first round.
Oh, digging left uppercut to the stomach by Barrera. Well, Maurin is elusive at times. The weirdest fighter I've seen in quite some time.
As I've said in the past many times, effective in their awkwardness.
Yeah. Barrera has watched tapes of Maurin, says he's very aggressive, as we have seen. But the overall feeling is Maurin's lack of big fight experience will be the big factor in the end.
You know, because he's always moving, jumping, twisting, turning, pivoting, he really is not a big power puncher. He leaps and dives in from time to time with some good shots, but he's not a truly good, well-balanced power puncher.
I wonder how he knocked out 26 guys. He did him with something.
Right, but we don't know the 26
guys. What was it Greg Haugen said? Tijuana taxi drivers when he was going to fight Chavez. Ah, ticking shots to the body and ribs again by Barrera. And Maurin smiles back. He's a tough kid from Argentina.
5 segundos.
Yeah, his nickname is Bacamala, which is bad cow. So bad cow disease, I guess, is what he's brought in here.
Buen trabajo, Marcos. Están trabajando bien. Sí. ¿Está trabajando igual? Sí.
Just keep working.
Hazle el paso lateral ese que le acabas de hacer. Cuando estés sacando y de
and then throw your shot. Go to the side, throw your shot.
Más tu jab, más jab, que llegue.
More jabs, let him get it.
Aquí, tíraselo arriba. Así lo mantienes.
Keep him in front of you. Jab him and keep him in front of you.
La costilla se está haciendo mucho aquí. La costilla y lo trabajas arriba.
Barrera comes out. He always wants to get to work. He has Maurin on the ropes. This is where he's effective. Well, it's not the only place, but one of the best places. And he always goes to the left hook to the body, a la Julio Cesar Chavez.
Two-time world champion Marco Antonio Barrera and Pastor Maurin, who has never been down. He almost went down, but maintained his balance against the ropes. Barrera, who turned pro at the tender age of 15.
Oh, look at that.
10 years ago.
That's what I call a helicopter punch. He started with one and he came out with it. It looked like two flailing wings of a helicopter. What is that? This guy is really odd.
I'm thoroughly convinced that sometimes he's not sure which way he's going and his body just doesn't respond.
Well, I tell you who does know where he's going, Barrera. He's settled down to his real fight. Just put him in front of you and punch.
Barrera, who won a world title at 21, is stalking Marin. Look how low Marin's gloves are. And he's going to get himself in all kinds of danger here in a second. Well, like right now.
Yeah.
He's getting pummeled now. Barrera.
Now we'll see.
Most of those shots, you know, were blocked. Maurin does hide and duck behind his hands pretty well. He boxes, he blocks well with the gloves.
He's got a pretty good welt developing under that left eye, but those punches aren't getting through.
Well, something's getting through because that eye is beginning to puff up. A little blood is coming from it.
Yeah, we see that's been cut.
Yeah, it's over the left cheekbone.
Barrera has KO'd his last 5 opponents, his longest knockout streak, looking to make it 6 right here.
Maurin.
Wild swing and a miss by Barrera. Don't be confused by Tapia, that's his family name. Look at the front of his trunks.
Pastor beginning to slow down a little bit as the attack mounts from Barrera. Barrera just putting in the attack, willing to just let that time go by. Whoa.
A counter punch, left hook there by Barrera after a wild miss by Maurin.
Barrera's starting to get his timing a little better. He's starting to be able to time the leaps and the hands.
Yeah, he's got this kid.
And he's catching him on the ropes.
Now. Yeah.
He's catching him on the ropes. And anytime a guy like Barrera catches you on the ropes, you're going to have some penalty to pay. He's going to leave you with some body hurt.
Maurin 30, his first world title shot out of Salta, Argentina. 42-1 with 23 knockouts in the maroon. Low blow there, but the referee Estevez was way behind him.
Look at the body shots.
He's game, isn't he? But Barrera is landing repeatedly. Straight right hand, booming shot.
He's game and Barrera's good. That's the two differences.
Right.
Good always beats game.
Usually. And a combination blocked by Maurin. Oh, he's doing it at will now. He's got Barrera has Maurin against the ropes, but Maurin able to twist and turn his way out of there.
See the amount of pressure Barrera is able to apply. He's constantly in his face. That's not just body pressure. It's mental pressure. He's constantly got Maurin worried about the onslaught. Then his body's feeling the onslaught. That'll fatigue you mentally as well as physically.
Maurin trying to battle back, but usually Barrera has all the answers. It's like a glorified sparring session for Barrera.
Whoa.
Telestrator time.
Here's Barrera doing what he does best. He gets inside. He's got his jabs up here. He's throwing his right hands. But then what he does, he's working that hook to the body. He's working right hands over the top, and he's coming up top, under and over, mixing the punches up. There's the jab right to the body with the hook. There's the 1-2 up top. Again, staying with something to the body, staying on top of Maurin. Maurin tries to fight his way out, but this kind of pressure, eventually Maurin's going to fold because he has to fight or die. There's another look at it from the side. The jab keeps his hands up, the left hook to the body, right hand to the head, right to the body, double right to the head. Maurin eventually has to fire and get Barrera off him, but Barrera very effective there, starting to swell the eyes, starting to cut the eyes, and I'm sure starting to hurt the body.
Well, in the last round, round 3, a welt did develop under the left eye of the challengers. Barrera started to solve Maurin's awkward style. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off. While we have a second, congratulations to Jimmy Lennon Jr. and his lovely wife Christine on the birth of their second child, Alexander, to go along with the other son, Jimmy.
They had a tough time. They wanted a name after you. I said no. You know, it just embarrassed them. You know.
Steve Lennon. All right, round 4. Purdy Lennon sounds pretty neat.
Well,
next time. All right, here's Barrera once again all over.
You can see in Maurin's eyes even that those punches are taking their toll on him, emotionally as well as physically. He is guarding that body ever so carefully.
Little head fake there by Maurin.
At some point, Maurin's going to get really wild there because he figures this thing's going to get away from him, and that's when the effectiveness of Barrera will come to point. Right now, he's just building up his case, slowing him down.
Even while Maurin holds those gloves over his face, Barrera's a heavy-handed fighter. He could punch those gloves into his face and still swell his eyes through his own gloves.
Yeah.
Barrera always eager to exchange. A stalking type fighter. Pounds the body. Chavez-like qualities from the same spot.
But you see how he has changed completely to holding that glove up. He holds those gloves up. He looks like Floyd Patterson. He holds them up. Look at him.
Peekaboo.
You'll notice too that Maurin has to hold the gloves up so tight and so close to his face and body that he can't get in his own form to fire with any power.
Yeah, and every time he fires, it's usually a lunging, awkward shot, and he's off balance, and then has to answer to Barrera, whose shots are much harder than his.
His eyes both eyes are beginning to puff up. They're looking red, streaked.
And he's got to be tired. He keeps putting his hands too low by his sides, and that's usually a sign of fatigue and being punished. It's worn out.
It will be very interesting to see what his corner tells him to do to change the tide of this fight, because every round is almost a repeat of the round before.
Yeah. Barrera has imposed his excellence on him, and he doesn't know what to do about it. Maurin doesn't know what to do about it.
While Maurin's attacking, he has one foot in the air. He cannot have power on his punches.
Again, a mad flurry by Barrera. Back comes Maurin, left hand right on the face, and it stopped Barrera in his tracks.
No, it was a butt.
Head.
Thought he got butt, yeah.
That was a butt that he's.
But he complained to the referee, but that's not going to help.
See?
They did come together.
He is so mad. He says, "Look, he is so mad about it."
Cut under Barrera's right eye.
I'm sure we'll get a good look at that headbutt later.
5 segundos. Time.
Oh, wow, that last shot to the body.
Shannon Briggs stretching and prepping for his big fight with Francois Botha coming up later in our main event. There you go, a little free advertising. Shannon, always public relations oriented.
He says that was a headbutt, but it is still cut. He says it's not bad, it's not bad. But you can see they put anticoagulant in there. They put that stuff in. Yeah, it is a little cut there. See that? That's so silly. They put the stuff in, then they wipe it out. Then they put it back in. All right, let's look.
Maurin's charging here, and Barrera just stops. Eventually plants his foot and lands right on his cheekbone.
Oh, he does.
They did not take a point away. They said it was unintentional. We just found out, just to keep you apprised.
Well, it was unintentional, but boy, was it big. Unintentional, but big.
Well, here we go. Round 5 as a result of the headbutt, a small cut opening under Barrera's eye, that right eye. He was infuriated in the 4th round, trying to get the attention of Benji Estevez Jr., the referee, but he's got to fight on. Can't just stop in the middle of the fight. Punches being blocked by Maurin. One of the most awkward, unorthodox fighters we've seen. Look at that. Speaking of awkward, that shot came out of nowhere.
That one came from Buenos Aires. I mean,
It's amazing that he's as accurate as he is with some of the angles he throws these punches from.
I never saw an uppercut start at the floor like that. I mean, wow, was that bizarre.
Maurin has fought in 7 cities in Argentina, but never in the 50 states, and never against this level of competition, that's for sure.
Well, he's being out slicked here. I mean, every round. I can see how he got that record. He's really, really a confusing fighter to fight. But he's fighting the best around now. You can feel the fury building up in Barrera. And, you know, like, hey, stop and fight right. And on top of which you butted me and cut me now. Come on, let's get this thing going.
Every once in a while, that awkward style does score for Maurin, but for the most part, I think Barrera has it solved.
And when it scores, it's meaningless punches. It's like Bobby said, if you're flying through the air, your punches haven't got too much on them, you know.
And you're off balance, and then you have to be ready to take some leather in return.
These punches, he's going back, he's flying through the air. I mean, they just don't have anything on them.
This guy should be in the circus. I mean, wasn't Jorge Paez in the circus?
Yeah, he and Paez can have a hell of a good fight.
That would be some fight, huh?
Saltimboques, they call them. Acrobats.
Ringling Brothers can promote that. 40 seconds to go, round 5. It's been mostly, if not all, Marco Antonio Barrera, two-time world champion, 48-2 with 36 knockouts. His only 2 losses back-to-back to Junior Jones. Somebody asked him, would you like to get back at Junior again for revenge? He said, doesn't mean anything anymore. So this is his second title defense in his second reign as champ.
Don't let anybody kid you. Revenge always means something.
This is kind of the dullest fight. I mean, the dullest round of this fight. Nothing really happened.
5 segundos.
Both of those losses to Jones in highly controversial fashion, too. Bobby Chez goes inside the
We're going to
ropes.
show you just how awkward this guy is. I mean, normally you leave your left foot in front of you if you're an orthodox fighter. He just runs one foot after this, like he's running and throwing punches. Watch, he just run his hands, 2 hands at the same time. It's the most awkward, incredible things I've ever seen. One foot in front of another, 2 hands at a time. Incredible.
You got to throw punches. You're not, stop going backwards and come forward. Throw your hands. Throw your hands. He said, as soon as you see him, throw something yourself. Come on, use your hands. You're not using your hands. Come forward. So let's see. That gets him a little steamed.
See the little trickle of blood under the right eye of Barrera, the result of a headbutt a couple of rounds ago.
Bobby, in that inside of the ropes, they got to that helicopter punch where
2 at a time. It's impossible to throw 2 punches at the same time.
To throw 2 looping punches unless you're trying to imitate a helicopter.
Well, if Barrera wins tonight, he says it'll be very difficult to move up because 120, 121 is his natural weight. He'd like to fight WBC Super Bantamweight champion Eric Morales, a fellow Mexican. That would be a terrific fight.
It's interesting. Every round now, for the past 2 rounds, I've noticed they come out and touch gloves. That respect factor may be going a little too far.
Barrera probably thinks it's the last round.
Yeah, but he's not Sugar Ray Robinson.
Right. He's the one who originated.
Yeah. Touch gloves. This isn't the last round. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. And it was the second round,
yeah,
right?
It is for you.
About a minute gone by in round 6. We're almost halfway there. It's a 12-round championship fight for the WBO junior featherweight crown.
He's trying harder, as his corner told him. Come forward throwing punches. Well, at least he's doing that. He's doing what the corner told him.
We're in a southpaw stance. He has been most of the fight.
Suelta limpio, cuidado con la cabeza los dos.
They come together like 2 bulls. He says, watch your heads when you come together like that. Come together so hard.
Barrera off a second-round technical knockout over Paul Lloyd to retain his title April 3rd in Kensington, England. The guy who gave Nassim Hamed some trouble. But Barrera able to dispose of him quickly. But this one going into round 6.
Yeah, this is the type of fight that looks like it has the distance written all over it. The crowd's starting to boo. They're getting upset. They want action.
I tell you, a fight they wouldn't boo, Tapia and Barrera, and that's in the offing because Tapia wants to come up. Boy, if he comes up to that, whoa!
And that could be confusing. That could be confusing with Tapia written on the back of Barrera.
Ain't but Tapia there.
It look like he's rooting for the opponent.
That's right. That would be weird.
Look at that. That's that two punch again, Bobby.
And then I'm sure Barrera's not sure which one to block.
And both feet were in the air when he landed.
Right, and it's impossible to have any power with even 1 foot in the air, never mind 2.
It's ballet.
Suelten, limpia los dos, limpia.
Look at that.
There's a saying we have in the gym. Certain fighters, no matter how polished or good, can't fight junk fighters. This is what we call a junk fighter. Junk doesn't mean that everything he throws is bad, but that it comes from the non-stereotypical angles. It's not thrown with the way he was drawn up on the blackboard.
Yeah, an awkward fighter can often make a polished, skilled fighter look bad.
In the meantime,
5 segundos.
Pasteur's face is beginning to fall apart. He's got red streaks, blood coming from both eyes. Look at that.
Let's look live at the former IBF heavyweight champion,
White Buffalo,
Francois Botha. Francois getting set for his big match with Shannon Brick just moments away.
Come in the gate. Only on Showtime. Championship boxing.
Knockout, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are like walking billboards for us. It's very nice.
Talk to them, baby. Yeah.
Francois to the beat.
See, we got to throw more of a combination. More 1-2, 1-2. Step it up. He said, what do you mean 1-2? I threw 1-2 at the same time. All right. Everybody's saying the same thing, throw more. And I think Maurin's throwing as much as he can. In the meantime, the crowd is getting restless.
Especially coming off that fine first fight. Round 7, halfway through, it looks like a clean sweep for the champion. What about you guys?
Clean sweep.
Oh, yeah, big goose egg in the maroon corner.
The man in the maroon is Maurin, and the man in the white is Barrera. Say that fast 5 times. Folks on the internet see it the same way. The champion in total control.
That's what we got. 6 and a goose egg.
And the best way for Barrera to keep Maurin's head at bay and to be a little more effective would just be to do what he just did, and that's stuff a good strong jab, a little shotgun jab right down the pipe.
The crowd doesn't like this at all. There's a lot of mumbling and stumbling around. Oh, that was a very low blow by Maurin. Very low.
Mid-thigh.
Imagine if we were in Mexico right now, how the fans would be reacting.
Well, I know how to be reacting. We'd be getting showered with it.
Yes, things. They throw things. They don't holler. They throw. And while there's a dull moment, should we mention that our compatriot Jeff Pomeroy, the much beloved PR kid that worked with us, is now going on to bigger things in Atlanta, Georgia.
A heartfelt farewell to longtime publicist Jeff Pomeroy, leaving us here at SCT and Showtime to become director of public relations for the Goodwill Games. Good luck, Jeff.
I'll miss his quiet humor and his good, effective work.
And right now, Barrera teeing over some heavy blows to the head and body.
Again, Maurin, although way behind, has never been down in his career.
Hard to hit him.
Yeah, it's hard. You got to catch him first and then knock him down.
He's getting hit as his face shows, but just not effectively enough. Now here he comes on the attack. I mean, look at that. The guts of this guy. He's going to come and attack a guy that's pulverizing him.
First world title shot for the South American. Former South American junior featherweight champ, Argentine bantamweight champ.
And he's legitimately the type of fighter, not just because of his skills, but because of his style. Nobody really wants to fight a fighter that's this awkward.
And that could be why he has no recognizable names on his ring record. He is 42-1 with 23 knockouts. That's a slip, not a knockdown. Barrera has been down 2 times in his career, just for the record. The other junior featherweight champs, Eric Morales, WBC, that's who Barrera wants next. The WBA is Nesta Garza, also of Mexico, and the IBF is vacant. Garza beat Enrique Sanchez this past December for the title by decision.
Boy, that sloppy fighting. He just can't. He can't get a handle on this guy. He just can't settle him down to regular fighting, and therefore it's sloppy, and therefore boring.
And booing from the crowd.
A little bit of a hectic round. First we'll get a shot at the low blow. One on the mid-thigh area, I think. Yeah, mid-thigh. Crossing over towards south of the border in the bad place. He's just so awkward. You're never sure where he's going to land. Barrera gets a little payback up against the ropes. Nice body shot that buckled Maurin a little bit. A lot of these shots are blocked, but a lot of the damage is still being done right through the gloves. All Barrera there on the ropes, pretty much. And then we'll have a combination of the slip and legs getting a little tangled. Maurin jumping around, got his foot right behind Barrera's, and they just spin over each other's feet. Barrera winds up on the canvas, but it's only a slip or a trip.
Ready for round 8, scheduled for 12. After the 2 losses to Junior Jones, Barrera learned to rest the body more, take it a little slower. Fight only 3 times, not 5 times a year as he normally did. He's just trying to rest his body. He's only 25. It seems like he's been around for so long. He seems older. Won a title at 21. The man in white from Mexico, Marco Antonio Barrera.
And a word about the efficiency of our referee. He's been out of sight. He just circles way out. He doesn't come in until he's needed. He's doing a very nifty job of refereeing this fight.
That's a good move from Sayreville, New Jersey.
Redness around the eyes of Maurin increasing more with every fight, with every round, as the jabs keep pouring in.
Barrera going down the middle a little more often now to the body. There's another hook. The last 2 or 3 shots were straight right hands to the body. And I kind of think that that might have been a good idea, going straight down the middle.
Heavy body shots by Barrera, and then a straight left hand, but in the middle of that mix was a low blow by Barrera.
Well, it's because he jumps in there in this wild thing while he's, I mean, that was as much Maurin's fault as it was Barrera's.
Barrera continues to stalk the awkward and elusive Maurin. Every once in a while, Maurin throws a wild punch from out of nowhere at weird angles. Most of them being blocked by Barrera, and any that land early aren't that strong.
Well, you know, one of the things that his corner told us when in that long and effusive praise of him was that he's got a jaw of iron, that people hit him and nothing happens. Well, I think he's taking a couple of good shots here.
I think he has too, but I'm not sure how anyone could hit him clean. He's always twisting and turning and swerving and swirling. It's hard to hit him with a good straight or even to connect with a solid left hook.
Well, he's never been off his feet in 43 fights, but again, we don't know the level of competition. We're not in Argentina.
I'm going to submit they changed it from bad cow to the Argentine tornado. I mean, is he twisting and turning and flagging and gosh. He was here, he was there. He was the Scarlet Pimpernel of Argentina.
Like a ghost.
Gosh. Stand still, fight.
Twister would work for me too. Yeah, oh yeah.
Got those arms way down by his sides, Maurin.
Yeah, but as soon as he comes up close, look where they go. Another low blow. But as soon as Barrera comes up close, boy, up come those things. You know, it's like the drawbridge. He pulls up the drawbridge on the fort when they come up close.
Well, hopefully this is the calm before the storm of our main event.
Oh,
that was
low blow. That was low.
The left hand by Barrera was way down south.
Now that was really low.
This near capacity crowd being lulled to sleep. Waiting for the main event, both of Barreras.
Well, I thought this was going to be an explosive fight. I really did, because off of what they tell me and the little I saw of Maurin, I thought, oh boy, this is going to be a barn burner. But it hasn't proved to be that way, because I think there's 2 different levels of competition here. One is very competent.
Muchas posibilidades. Pero tiene por punto, olvídate. Vamos a ser claritos.
Starting to turn to a small low blow festival. We'll watch Barrera chasing Maurin. Maurin comes out. We don't get a shot at that low blow. It was a little bit prior to the angle there. But Barrera gets another shot. Oh, another one. Right? That was a very good right uppercut. It just went south of the
Well, how about that one?
That was a double in one combination.
Twice in one shot he got hit. Ouch.
That's a hell of a way to slow him down, though.
That was in Mexico. That was a tropic of cancer.
That was everything was coming.
Well, Maurin continues to fall behind 1 point at a time each round, and he doesn't seem to have the power to win by knockout. So we enter round 9, scheduled for 12.
I truly can't think, even if you're related to Maurin, which round you would give to Maurin, because he hasn't done anything but receive and survive.
Well, let me see. Let me look at the judges. No Maurins. There's a Davis, Porterage, and Ramirez.
Yeah, but you know, when Lewis fought Holyfield, I don't think any of their last names had Holyfield on it either.
Interesting point.
Judge's scoring was still very suspect.
I don't think they could get away with that here. They couldn't get away with that here.
Now this is so clear cut, it's ridiculous.
He could have crossed the right just then as that ship went by.
If this were a basketball game, they'd stop it. It's usually the other way around, isn't it? But I thought I'd throw that in.
Well, you're a basketball guy. Yeah. Yes, indeed, I think that Barrera has bored himself to death. I mean, I think Barrera is saying, okay, I'm tired of this. Can we go home now?
You think Barrera, though, is somewhat frustrated because of the elusivity and awkward nature of his opponent tonight, Pastor Maurin. I know he wants to please the crowd. He wants to get this over with and do it in exciting fashion, but it's tough. Well, I guess the question now is, where does Marco Antonio Barrera, a two-time world champion, go from here? And he's got this one well in hand. Is it Eric Morales? Would you like to see that kind of a match?
Well, sure, and it certainly have to be more exciting than this, or even the Vasquez fight, where the rumor was he was just so tough. Imagine the fight you could have there when somebody like Barrera, nicknamed the baby-faced assassin, his people think that you might be too tough to deal with.
Well, how about Tapia? I mean, Tapia with that non-stop energy and fierceness of Tapia with this guy. Whoa, what a fight that would be. No, that's a good fight. They would have to be great fight. 3 great fights in a row. Now, you can't blame Barrera for this. This is not Barrera's fault. He's doing the best he can to settle this guy down, a fight in a fight. The other guy's fighting a survival fight.
5 segundos.
He can't possibly think he's winning this fight.
Tiempo.
And 9 rounds in the books.
He says everything is going good. Just keep going like you're doing. They're satisfied. They tell them nothing on the cut when there is nothing on the cut. Now let's see what's happening with the loser's corner.
Cuando vos te animas, pegas.
Y encima le duele, Pastor.
He said as soon as he gets close to you, throw something. But be more animated. Be stronger. Maurin's trying to make some kind of an argument, but they're not listening to him. They're just saying, hey, throw something when you get close.
Pretty good crowd on hand here at the Mark G. Edis Arena at the Trump Taj Mahal on the boardwalk of Atlantic City, New Jersey, as the fans eagerly anticipate our main event coming up after this one, Francois Botha versus Shannon Briggs. This is round 10 of a very dull fight for the WBO junior featherweight title between Marco Antonio Barrera in the white and Pastor Maurin in the maroon. If you're just tuning in, Maurin, a very elusive, awkward, unorthodox type fighter. Barrera, a relentless, stalking pressure type fighter, having difficulty because of the awkward style of Maurin, but Barrera's won every round convincingly. It's just not been an exciting fight because of the weird style of Maurin, who sometimes flings punches while both feet are in the air. Comes from all angles.
The other thing is he is just fighting survival. He's going back. He's just responding. You know, he's not doing what he's right here. That's what he's got to do. Stop, stand and fight. But he didn't. I mean, when he stands and fights, he gets clocked.
Well, Maurin actually just landed with a left hook to the jaw.
He's got to do that.
He's getting he's getting a little more comfortable on the inside. He's landing with Barrera, but Barrera's just too strong, punches too well, too purposeful, and just too accurate.
Maurin getting very brave there, but has to answer to Barrera's hard punches to the body and head.
And the punches to the body are devastating. I mean, that's one thing the Mexican fighters have learned from Chavez and all those great ones. That body pays off. Those hooks to the side. Ouch.
Well, Barrera's 5-fight knockout streak may be in jeopardy here because of Maurin's style. Barrera 48-2 with 36 knockouts. Maurin 42-1 with 23 knockouts.
He'd almost have to catch him with a lucky punch now. The other guy's just not fighting. I mean, it takes 2 people to get it going so you can land lucky and get a knockout.
Some great fighters from Argentina over the years. Victor Galindez comes to mind right off the bat.
The best I ever saw was Monzon. Carlos Monzon. I saw him in 6 or 7 fights. I don't think I ever saw a middleweight that was that good during his time. Wow, he's great. Fantastic.
Maurin from Salta, Argentina.
Well, it does appear as if he's just going to take this fight round after round in almost exactly the same fashion. There's no sense of urgency, or at least it wouldn't appear that he's going to just go for broke. Doesn't seem to have the power. Far too awkward and off his feet to even hurt. Never mind knock out Barrera.
This is the Groundhog Day of fights. Every round pretty much the same. 20 seconds to go in the 10th.
That's the best sequence he's had all fight.
Yeah. He came back. At least he fought. You know, I mean, give it a shot.
Maurin, every once in a while, he leads with his face. He just comes in wide open. And he just flails away, slapping punches. Well, we've got more on our main event. Here's Jim Gray.
All right, in Shannon Briggs' locker room with Emmanuel Stewart, the trainer for Shannon. How's the training gone for Shannon? He has not fought in 8 months.
The training has been good, but I think the most important thing is Shannon's attitude. He's decided that he wants to become a superstar fighter, and I think that nobody out there I see among the young guys coming up can stop him.
There was a time when this guy didn't like to fight and didn't want to fight. Have you changed that?
Well, he's changed it himself. You know, I think I started to train him in November for his fight that he had last December. And from that point on, he's changed himself. The biggest change in Shannon Briggs has been Shannon has decided he wants to be a fighter finally.
Dangerous opponent tonight with both of them.
Both is a very big test for him, particularly. He presents everything that's a challenge to Shannon. He's a tough guy. He's an experienced guy. Only lost 2 fights to Mike Tyson and Michael Moore. And he's very confident that he can beat Shannon. But I think Shannon Briggs, as he is now, is in a class by himself for all of the other fighters coming up.
Anyway, we look forward to the fight. Best news is we don't have to watch this one much longer. Back out to you, Steve.
I think Emmanuel would agree with that. Thank you, Jim. And Emmanuel Stewart, who said that Shannon Briggs really became a man in his fight career in those later rounds against George Foreman. A controversial decision that went Shannon Briggs' way. A lot of people thought Foreman won that fight on points. In any event, we mosey along here. Round 11. Maurin has been past 10 rounds only once.
Mosey might be too quick.
Yeah, that might be too.
What kind of fight do you think this is? Well, we're actually looking forward to a great interview to be the highlight. I mean, we got Jim's got 2 good interviews, and that was the best thing that happened in the whole fight.
Big main event coming up between Francois Botha, the former champ,
and that could be the exact opposite of this.
And Shannon Briggs.
that can be explosive.
Let me tell you this.
That can be explosive.
It should be under the circumstances because of the fact that both fighters can't lose.
With all that's hanging in the balance, Steve and Ferdy, and what heavyweights bring to the dance, it's got to be a great fight.
It's desperation time for both.
Well, one thing we definitely know that the White Buffalo comes to fight. He's got a huge heart. So let's see what Briggs makes.
And everything he said before the Tyson fight, well, a lot of people poo-pooed it, came true, except for getting the fight into the later rounds. Well, when he ate that punch.
Yeah, he was going along with his game plan, and he was correct. He just happened to walk into the good right hand by Mike.
That's all it took. But he had won all scorecards.
And of course, the Barrera fight was something great. Well, listen, in the meantime, we have a fight no matter what the quality is going on right here.
Yep, round 11 continues. Not in raging fashion, but with a whimper.
I wonder if at this point, Barrera just says, well, let me just walk out the streak. There's no way I'm going to knock this guy out. Let me just go ahead and work it on out. I mean, he's winning every round. No danger of losing. Let me just work. Is that the way it goes, Bobby? You were a fighter for 105 years.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the flow of the game.
Who's the most awkward, elusive fighter you ever fought that reminds you of Maurin?
I'll tell you what, I fought somebody who's even more frustrating than this guy, Elisha Obed.
Oh, yeah.
I hit him. He started to knock him down. He grabbed me by the leg and climbed back up me. Then hit me.
It's true. That's true.
They disqualified him. He was nuts. And then he swung up Tony Perez and tried to hit him. He was incredibly awkward so badly that they disqualified him.
I worked with a lot of his fights, including when he won the title in Paris. He was an awkward guy. And strange. He would just quit in the middle of the fight and say, I don't want to fight anymore. Then we'd have to convince him in the corner to go out and fight.
No mas.
Oh, yeah, but he was a champion. He was ready to give it up.
Thankfully, we're almost into the final round.
All right, they're saying. All right, now He says, give a good face to the audience now. Give it all you got now. This is the last one. Give it all you got now. Just make sure you're going to the side when he comes. He's going to come charging at you. Go laterally. Go laterally. Keep doing what you're doing, Mike. It's going to be 12-round decision. They've decided. Go laterally and throw your hands.
Well, Ferdy Bobby Maurin does have 23 knockouts in his 43 fights, and he's going to need an improbable one here.
I think more like impossible.
He is so far behind, it's not funny. Round 12. Final round for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship. So they are resigned to a full 12 rounds in the Barrera corner.
Going into the annals of Ennui as one of the top all-time boring fights.
Even at best, Maurin is trying to win in some small spurts. He's not really laying it out there. You know, you got to be in the game to win it. He's not really putting himself in the game in play.
So you blame Maurin more for the style of fight as opposed to Barrera here?
Well, when Barrera gets to be the aggressor, he backs his man up to the corner, he's working. Maurin just stands there and covers up. There's no sense for Barrera to just shoot everything he has, use all his energy up and all his punches on arms and not look well later.
So he's being more cautious than anything else here?
Well, he has to harness his energy, and he also doesn't want to make any big mistakes and run into anything silly.
Unfortunately, though, it translates into a boring fight for the fan.
No, I couldn't sleep for the past 2 days. If I had a tape of this fight, I might have been able to sleep just well.
There you go.
If you were next in line for the guy, you mean? If you were going to fight him and you saw him on tape?
See, now he's doing a little fighting. If you'd have been doing this, jumping around like this, at least.
No, I just meant the past couple of days.
Oh.
Hey, you guys are missing the fight. It's all heated up into a tremendous struggle here, comparatively speaking.
We are changing your name to Facetious Ferdy.
No, that's a comparison because at least he's coming forward. He's throwing both hands.
He's putting on his good face for the audience for the last 2 rounds.
That's what they told him. Put on a good face.
Slapping left hook there right off the side of the head of Maurin. No knockdowns in this fight. First, you got to catch a guy to knock him down.
See, he leans like that. It's almost impossible to hit a man clean. It leans so far and so awkward, side to side, twisting, turning his head, switching feet, stepping around you. If I had to watch a tape of this guy and he was my next opponent, I wouldn't even want to fight him.
That's what I thought you would.
He's just annoying. You can't look good with him, no matter how good your skills are.
You still have to wonder, even with this wild and wacky style that Maurin has, how did he win 42 fights?
He still can be somewhat effective in his awkwardness.
And maybe he was fighting guys that weren't, just nowhere near the level of fighting that Barrera is. Barrera just neutralized him and then giving him a whipping.
That's the problem we get when we get these guys from like South America, and there's no way to really prove it. And that's it. This one mercifully comes to an end. For us and for you and for the fans here at the Mark G. Edis Arena. A lullathon at Atlantic City. Let's hope the main event is better. First fight was pretty good. Could have used Angel Vasquez here tonight, huh? As we remind you once again, the main event coming up. Former IBF heavyweight champion Francois Botha to take on number 7 rated Shannon Briggs. South Africa versus Brooklyn. Big fight for both. Could set him up in line for a title fight or another fight for Botha with Mike Tyson, or Briggs versus Tyson, a battle of Brooklyn. Wouldn't that be interesting? No matter what you think of Mike Tyson these days. Style-wise, skill-wise, it would certainly create a ruckus in the world of boxing. Well, no question that Marco Antonio Barrera has retained his title. Got a little cut along the bottom of the right eye there, but it was academic. off a headbutt, and Pastor Maurin will go back to Argentina. No doubt 42-2. This was his first world title shot. He did last, he's already being interviewed. He did last 12 rounds, but in boring fashion. Very popular, obviously back in his homeland of Argentina.
I'd be very curious as to if any of the judges actually gave him a round.
I would be surprised if anybody did.
Nothing surprises me, but we're not in Las Vegas.
Yeah. We're not in Kansas anymore. Harry Davis, Ron Porterage, and Roberto Ramirez are the people scoring. Looks very frustrated. I mean, I don't understand the language, but you can just tell the frustration by Marco Antonio Barrera because of the style of Maurin tonight. He wanted to put on a better show here in America.
You just can't look good against every style. And this one, clearly, I think it would be nothing short of impossible for any style to look too good against it unless you caught him jumping in with some major shot and just starched him.
Yeah, the folks in the truck scored it a shutout. I'm surprised it took so long, but Jimmy Lennon is Jr. with the final tally. I don't know why it took so long. That's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judges at ringside, John Potteridge and Roberto Ramirez both scored about 119-109. Harry Davis sees it at 120-108. All three in favor of the winner. And still the WBO Junior Featherweight World Champion, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Well, no question about it. Barrera retains his title. He's 49-2. And Pastor Maurin drops to 42-2.
Even while they raised his hand, Steve, he was just shaking his head. No, I know he's not satisfied with how he dealt with his opponent, but I don't think he had much choice.
Okay. Up next, our main event, Botha versus Briggs. We go into the dressing rooms as both make final preparations. Botha on the left, Briggs on the right. Francois Botha feels Shannon Briggs has no heart. Briggs feels Botha is too slow. You recall, and Bobby made this point at one of our meetings, a slow George Foreman got a lot of punches in on Briggs, but Botha isn't as big as George Foreman. Briggs would really love to fight his fellow Brooklynite Mike Tyson in Tyson's second fight back, being talked about for December. He's got to get past Botha first. Let's go to the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco in the ring.
Campeón, muy aburrida noche porque es muy difícil. That was a boring night. Is that because he was hard?
Sí, muy difícil, ¿no? El rival salió un peleador. Ahora sí que él no es de los que llamados asquerosos, cochinísimo, no sirve como para boxeador.
I mean, he said he's nasty, he's dirty, he's not a boxer, he doesn't deserve the title. Y de aquí para adelante, ¿quién quiere pelear? What do you want to fight?
Pues todavía no sabemos, ahorita vamos a bajar a hablar con el señor Ricardo porque siento que hizo una mala actuación aquí en Atlantic City.
¿Con quién es el próximo?
No sabemos, vamos a hablar apenas después de esta pelea.
He doesn't know, he'll have to leave that up to the promoters. He has no plans right now, but he wants to stay in action. And back to Steve Albert.
All right, thanks very much, Ferdy. A sellout crowd, we're told now, 5,150 on hand here. The online scoring, again, no surprise. Marco Antonio Barrera, 12-0.